What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the BBT mining farm. It's been a long time coming. It's moved a couple times, so this is kind of its final resting spot. Hopefully you guys can see us and it's bright. I got a light in front of me here, and we do have a couple different setups here to where you guys can see the mining farm, and we're gonna move the camera around and stuff so you guys can kind of see the scale of it. And obviously we'll have a really good YouTube video. I'm coming through. I have the Moza Air with me. Let me bring that over. So I got the gimbal here with me too. We're gonna do some really nice video for the farm and kind of give you guys the scale of everything, what it takes to run a farm like this, what are some of the lessons learned and that kind of stuff. So it's been, you know, several months coming. BBT Todd in the background, and you know, it's a lot of work to get something like this going. And part of this video, it has been a long time coming to bring to you guys, and you know, try to make sure we can give the best information possible with something at scale. So you know, when you're working through a lot of the different issues that you do get in mining at this level, it's a whole different level of issues. So you know, a lot of people are like, hey, why not do this, you know, like in June? And it actually wasn't operating in June of this last year. It was over the last probably 6 months putting it together. But what's your first question? What's the temp in the room right now? What is the temp in the room?
Temperature in the room.
I think we hit like 80 degrees.
We were at 80 earlier.
Yeah. We shut
Yeah,
down.
I got BBT Wade over here. We shut down and we're a little dusty. About 76 right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we walked in, it was about 83, 84-ish, I think.
No, it was about 80.
About 80, yeah.
About 80. So.
Yeah, so it does have physical security, does have cameras and all that kind of fun stuff. We're not geo tagging the particular area. I mean, there's a lot of security stuff. I mean, we're going to try to go through a lot of that. I mean, so when you have this many GPUs, you got to make sure the area, you know, the police in your area know who you are, what's going on there. Obviously, the power company knows because of the scale that they do. You know, that they have to help provide. So when you have a lot of, you know, industry people that understand where you're at, what you're doing, and you also have your neighbors that help you make sure that things are secure. But ultimately, you know, like computer systems, nothing's 100% secure. And you could always have somebody.
The other thing too is that when I first entered this building, I came in as a business, so. The village wanted to know what type of business this was, and the police and the fire department, like I had to get an occupancy permit after everything was set up. So it was great that the city was on board with me and didn't, you know, they worked with me fantastically. Like I cannot complain whatsoever. But it opened my eyes to a whole new set of problems that you didn't think of before, like, oh, hey, you have to have a fire extinguisher, and it has to be certified every single year.
Oh yeah,
it's just silly things like that.
Yeah, it's operating a full business, you know, and you know, BBT Todd really has put this whole, by and large, almost all of this together. And you know, obviously, we're heavily collaborating on it and building mining rigs and putting hardware in there and stuff. But he really had to take that torch of certifying the different facilities and working with the power company to try to explain, like, here's what was going on. And when you're looking at scale, I'm looking over here at the monitor. When you're looking at scale, and you got to go up to something like 2,000 amps. And don't worry, I mean, we're gonna have very detailed videos. Like I got the equipment to take some nice shots of everything, how everything kind of was ran. And you can do it, like, it isn't the de facto standard on how to do it. It is a way to do it. And then some of those lessons learned, you know, is what we're trying to bring back to that and give you guys a good epic video on what it is at scale. You know, what's GPU mining at scale. Because most of the stuff you see from me is usually just at the smaller, and you'll see a lot of those rigs and that setup, especially like the which boxes were those that we were using for a while? The
gray
matter boxes and stuff that you guys seen earlier in the videos. You know, as we started kind of really scaling this up. You're the king of GPU mining. Well, there's people that do this at a much larger scale, but not a lot of people bring the level of content that we do to you guys, and that's what we're really trying to do. It will be part of the video. Yeah, people know we're in Wisconsin, but I mean, I'm not going to give zip codes and stuff in cities. I got BBT Wade here, like trying to get to your guys' questions. Which I mean, a video of this scale, as we'll get a lot of viewers and stuff. I want to make sure you guys' questions are being answered. And, you know, and a lot of the stuff that I wanted to get into is, you know, like people are going to ask, well, like what kind of GPUs? And most of the GPUs that are in here, for all the gamers that'll find this video and freak out, no fear. Most of the GPUs that are in here, I would say a good majority of the GPUs in here are probably
all these aisles here are all these cards.
Yeah, so these are the Sapphire RX470, a mixture of 4 gig and 8 gig cards, right?
About 50-50.
About 50-50 split. And these don't have the I/O port on them. These are the mining edition cards. So that's the majority of actually these 5 rows here. About 2,000.
168 times, so 16, almost 1,700.
About 1,700 of just the RX cards. So most of those are all mining edition cards. Because at the time when this farm, we were scaling the farm up, the only cards we could actually get at scale were the mining edition cards, because most of the normal GPUs were sold out. You know, as I grab a 1070 GTX, you know, with, you know, a few rigs being some of these, and then these are the Asus 570. These are the ones that BBT Brett had, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So GTX 570 Strix are some of them. And then it's it's about 2,000.
2,000 cards.
Yeah, 2,500 if you add the other separate cards. So some of the FXX cards, but I mean those are the like normal GPUs. And what would be the percentage? I know a lot of people are going to ask questions on the difference on you know, how many AMD versus the NVIDIA. This is a very pro AMD scale. I mean, I would say a good 80%, 90% are AMD, if not 95.
Like 95%.
Yeah, about
AMD.
95. And most of the 1070s, 1080s and stuff, I keep down in Illinois with me. So
out of all of them, I got 700 and 1070s, and then about I would say about 80 1060s, and that's about it. That's all I have for the NVIDIA.
Yeah, so 70.
Is all AMD.
Yeah, and then because when we had the gray matters down, we were mostly doing 580 MSI cards.
Right.
Will we be testing any acorns? That's a good question, and yes. So I need to get with GPU Hoarder and Oh Got a Girl. I want to do a live test of the acorn in a full rig. So I want the exact configuration that I need. We're going to try a couple different configurations with the acorns to see if at scale we want to scale it up to this. And we'll move to the acorns. An acorn, for the folks that are on the stream that don't understand what that is, that's a add-in, kind of think of like a daughter card that'll come into an M2 slot. So for the board, you can add in a daughter FPGA that is specially coded to take some of the overhead of some of the algorithms off of the GPUs, reducing your power and ultimately giving you a little more bump in hash rate. They're relatively new, and got a company, Minority IO, and GPU Hoarder, which is out of Excelin.
Right. They're not shipping until August.
Yeah, they're not shipping until August. So
and then for some of their for the smaller card, it's August, and then the larger card is going to be in September.
Yeah. So I mean, we're going to see if we can get them. I mean, we're going to have to go with everybody else, like everybody else. I mean, we're not getting none of the stuff that we done here or anywhere else have we gotten any kind of, like, I guess, tactical advantage. It was
Right.
calling MA Labs, getting cards like anybody else. You guys know I've always been very transparent on that, of like how we've gotten cards. I've taken you guys to Micro Center when we've done other cards and stuff. So there's no like advantage that we've gotten in any of this like anybody else. I mean, I have no doubt like some of the larger farms probably maybe able to square a different deal, and especially the ones that are in China and other parts of the countries where the things are actually produced. You can maybe get some better deals, but is that a portable heat? No air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
We're not running any air conditioning at all. It's all a very high-powered movement of air, and like I'll take some of the camera moving around. Good ventilation, intake, and then external exhaust at what 3-phase.
3-phase fans.
Yeah,
we got
big 3-phase fans.
Yep, which is moving about 44,000 cubic. What is that? CFMs.
Yeah, 44,000, and I mean that's quite a bit, and that's just a pair of them right now. And like half the farm is only built, like the other part is not all the way built yet. So we got 2 of those fans in the back, and we'll obviously take you through that as part of the YouTube videos, breaking that down. But it's not like just the cheap Lowe's fans. I mean, we're talking, you know, the pair of those and the main ventilation shaft that actually allows air in there is, you know, close to $25,000 just to move air. So there's a huge vacuum of air in there. It has to be cleaned. That's part of the reason why the farm is down right now. We're taking advantage of it just to do a cleaning. And you can see if I switch you over to kind of the mobile cam, just the floors, and I'll try to switch it around here so where you guys can see at scale. I mean, we had to keep most of the, you got to try to keep as much as you can, the dust and the stuff on the floors. And you guys can see. I mean, everything is as clean as possible to try to keep the area. And there's the section that's not fully set up yet. So
One of the questions is how many, what am I mining and what are we making per day? We're mining Ethereum, and we're roughly making about anywhere between 2.8 to 3 ETH a day.
Yeah, about 3 ETH a day right now is the output. If we're doing Ethereum, let me go back to live scene. So about 3 Ethereum right now a day. One of the questions I know would come up is like kind of what was the peak at this farm when it was max, and it was about 75 ETH a day, or 75 ETH a month, right? Yeah. So that was about the peak of this particular farm. It was the output. So to give you guys a rough scale of magnitude of like what's the output of that, if you're selling all of it, then you can kind of get the measurements of what that costs. And it's about 50 gigahash, right?
50 gigahash.
It's about 50 gigahash. So the farm's 50. And keep coming with the questions, guys. We'll answer what we can. I'm trying to fill some of the gap with just the kind of AMA, the stuff that I know I'll be asked in an AMA. Total power-wise, there's a 2,000 amp service.
3,000 amp.
3,000 amp service actually outside with all the switches on. About 2,000 right now on the service on the input. Yeah. Intake and exhaust. Yes, so that'll be in the YouTube video. I don't have a real good range with the camera set we have, and maybe we'll spin up a different stream later. But all this right now is mainly Simple Mining OS. Yeah, you can pick up and move most of that. You should be able to just lift from the center, and then you can unplug the power because the camera will run totally on the battery. So the power, not that
I
one.
was just trying to see how far I'm not gonna be able to go far enough.
Yeah, I'm putting the motor air over here. But yeah, we were trying to get to where you guys could see the exhaust. Exhaust is behind one of the racks over there. There's 2 huge fans, massive fans, in structure. But okay, Todd will grab the BBT. Todd will grab a picture of it, and then we'll show you guys on the screen. Yes, there's a full transformer out there, and we'll show you guys that too. So we had to pull in a 3,000 amp transformer, and then the major switch boxes in the back. for that kind of. Yeah, a lot of people have been like, dude, why? Like, what's up with like not showing? I mean, like, so for a little bit, stuff was in St. Louis, and then we had to move it, and better air. It's cooler. Like right now, what is it? Like 70 degrees up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 70 degrees. So like we pull an ambient air in here, filtered ambient air. It's pretty decent. So. Yeah, so bits be taken over. Yeah, it's our building. Yeah, 4 kilowatt non-peak 6 cents peak. It's just this is about it's $1 million farm without having labor. And so if you wanted to build something at scale like this, you're looking at 1.2, 1.4 with labor. And I mean that's a lot of discovery in that too with what you need. And it's super predicated. I want to make sure I emphasize hardware wise you're looking probably 700,000-800,000 in GPUs, and then you got all the other hardware that comes with that. But then you're looking at where your building's at. Where are you at, and can you get enough power there, and do you have to run power? Oh, you want to switch to the large screen? Yeah. Here, we'll switch to the other so you guys can see the. So there's the fans.
Wrong way, guys.
Wrong way.
So there's the controllers that are on the fans.
So those are the controllers to the fans, and they were used about what 11 amps.
Yeah, about equivalent to a rig. And then
it's about a full
what
rig.
The inside of it looks like.
And then yeah, there's the inside of the fans there. And it's about 11 amp. They're off. They're fully off.
They're
right now.
fully off.
Yeah, they're fully off. So the lights aren't. Yeah, it's very low humidity up here. And then you can see some of the patch panels there. That's a big head. Yeah, somebody goes, it's a big head fan. Did you get one of the power box?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, we'll get one, and then just like get with the scale of the pipes that come up from it. I mean, it shows kind of the scale of the stuff. 30-month ROI. Yeah, so I mean, ROI, it depends on like if you're selling everything and you're just trying to get back out on the equipment, or if you take a different strategy, different ways to do it. This role plan was more of a 36-month strategy. You try to keep as much as possible, but you still got anywhere from on a non-peak month where you don't have to run any AC. There are AC units in here. You don't have to run AC, but like in huge peak, if you're running everything from a full power standpoint, you're looking at like 17,000, up to 17 to 18,000 a month in power. So you do have to divest some. How much do you pay for the mafia protection? Yeah, no mafia protection. A lot of cameras, a lot of people that understand around the area what we're doing. Good, real, close enough to police response that we're not too worried about it. I mean, yeah, it sounds like a lot, and there's a lot of GPUs here, guys, but if you walk into any one of these businesses that could be around this area, I mean, their shops have lots of stuff too. That would be a lot easier than trying to track out a whole bunch of GPUs. Right, so GPU failure rate's really good. So we do have, out of all these, about 330 rigs in here, and right now we have about, I don't know, about 16 that have some level of issue right now, and that's part of the reason why we're up here, because we let it go to a scale that we have to get out there and get fixed. So we're going to go through and look at those. I was looking through a handful of them that had some of the fans starting to kind of fail. That was about 7 months, which is pretty high fail rate for a lot of them were the XFX here. And then we have a couple of the Asus ones. Again, the non-mining edition, you can actually, this one's hard enough to where I have to really push to go. But we have the fans starting to go out. That usually means that they'll overheat and then they'll shut down. We have them already set to shut down. Oh yeah, we'll get you guys this another video. Todd's. So that's the main power distribution block. That's 3,000 amp service, about 2,000 being used, and you can see the piping that we have to go. So each of them go to a separate call out box there, but that is the power box there. And then each one of those are what 30 amp connection. Or no, that's a
200 amp.
200 amp. Over to the 30 amp breakouts.
Yeah, and then that cabinet is about 8 feet tall.
Yeah, it's about an 8-foot cabinet there, and then there's the transformer we had to get.
on the outside.
For that, yeah, and it's 7 GPUs per board. Those are the ones that we're using right now. And then that's the output, the up against the building, that's the power distribution box. All this had to be purchased too. And then there's the exit on the fans. So that's the exhaust. They're downward facing to blow down to where you can get the where you don't have a lot of the water that can come in if you have weather and stuff. So it's blowing out there for the scale. So that kind of gives you the kind of the scale that needs the poor grass. Actually, I think it was growing pretty good there.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot of heat, you know. So that gives you guys kind of an understanding of holy. And now the only Bitmain thing in here is just that E3, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we got one E3 that came in this week. And we're going to be breaking that out and taking a look at that. I've seen some people that have done some breakdowns on it and it looks pretty good, but none. Right now it's mostly BBT Todd that's up here all the time. So it takes at least one full-time person to maintain a farm. Like it's at scale.
I would say, you know, to build this out. I had like 3 people helping me.
Yeah.
You know, my wife is a trooper. If you guys have built rigs, you guys all know like unpacking the stuff is the worst.
Yeah.
Try unpacking all of this. It's crazy. The garbage man, I had like a dumpster outside. He picked up once a week. I could have like done it twice a week, but I just kind of stacked the stuff up and just kind of like for a good 3 months afterwards, just throwing shit out throwing stuff out for a while. So,
there's a lot of unpacking. I mean, 3,000 GPUs or 2,500 GPUs is a lot of GPUs of boxes and stuff. And I mean, even these ones get shipped in pretty much a brown box, right? I mean, but still, it's one per. Yeah. Like some of the GPUs started coming in like a single box with 10, and you could just pull them out, and that was a much easier setup. But yeah, so I mean, Todd, between myself, Todd, his wife, there you got the box. So a box they come from.
Here's a box of them, and then you open it up, and you got another 10 of them inside.
Yeah, so then you got 10 boxes per.
So.
What's the end of life for the GPU plan? So I mean, run them till they burn out. I mean, these were this wasn't like a run them and then try to sell them type of thing. This is like run them until they're dead, and then, you know, it's it's at scale. No, we're not running our own pool. We put it on main pools.
Been contemplating on starting my own pool. Though.
Yeah. Todd's a real good developer, so I mean, like he's looked at a lot of different options here, from building an own version of a BBT mining OS to scaling up the UI and all that. But I mean, with Acorns coming out and they have their own, I mean, it's going to get into this competitive environment of, you know, do you continue with like something like simple mining, or do you move to like your own? Is it worth us doing our own thing on? And, you know, as I've talked to Todd about maybe scaling this as a service offering, you know, to where I've always tried to just give you guys like how to do it and answer questions that a lot of people are not going to answer in this space. That's what BBT's always try to bring to you guys. It's more of a education, like, hey, here's what failed on me, here's what not works and that. But looking at it where you have a lot of folks reaching out and saying, hey, I want to do this. You know, maybe they have money and they're just like want to be in the space and they want to build their own. Maybe branching out, you know, BBT is offering, like with BBT Todd, moving on to doing some other opportunities to build out other ones for other folks and stuff as we build the ecosystem. So expanding is definitely in the light. That's why I said, when people, like when I'm talking like mostly on the channel of like, you know, not understanding like how far are we into the GPU mining, pretty far, right? And looking at the scale of what can be done like on a compute level in the future, and working with like maybe some FPGAs that help enhance some of that, and then other coins. Very excited for other coins that come out for and tokenize their networks. But we're providing it. I just don't want to mine coins for coins. I want to mine coins that have a future, because their tokens are going to be used as a utility or it is a strong store of value, right? So, you know, the different things that we mine from ETC, XMR. I mean, this is a decent XMR fleet of cards. $2,500, just a hobby, bros.
Just a hobby.
Just a hobby. It's just a hobby.
Some people have speedboats. I have GPUs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes, I mean it's so a little good question. Like, how hard is it to run a farm like this when there's a huge pullback like this? And when it comes down to at scale, it's painful. I mean, you have to pretty much when you have to sell a majority of what your tokens are to just pay for your expenses and power, and then mind you, like anybody knows that does this. Not even at scale. Like if you have 2 or 3 GPUs or 2 or 3 GPU rigs, and you're just making enough to cover your power costs, then you kind of dip into like, well, I'm not going to sell my coin, so I guess I'm just paying for the power, and you start going negative on what your ROI is, right? Because you're not cashing coins out, so now you're really looking for the future, and at scale it works a little differently because the way the bell curve works on having a lot of force projection of hash power and getting more opportunity and not just PPLNS, payout pools, but where you have more of an advantage, you're going to get more of a coin. You get a little advantage, but you're still having to pay the pool fees. You still have to pay exchange fees if you want to exchange stuff. If you're trying to cash out anything on Uphold or on Coinbase or any Abra, any of those type of facilities, you got to pay their fees too. And you start adding up the fees, and they start adding all this stuff. It starts to really put a pinch on it when a very bearish market happens. No, GPUs and mobos. Yeah, I mean it's fun, man. It's nerd out, bros. I thank you guys for sharing the stream too. I mean, this is not very often you guys get to see a large scale. Yeah, and then you got taxes when you're taking profit. You got to go through and do your tax piece of it. You handle your taxes. You pay for your taxes.
Yeah.
And it's all a cost. So this being on a business side. At scale, you do it in a business standpoint, so then you can take some depreciation of equipment. You treat it as an asset that you can depreciate, and because it's a revenue. If you're doing it individually, it's very hard to kind of do that unless you're wrapping it in a business. But you do get to depreciate some of your stuff out. How'd your 2,500? How do they smell? I think it smells fine. It's just heat. And so imagine if you have a 1 rig and you're right, your face is in it. That's what it smells like. I mean, it's probably like heaven. A warm coin. That new GPU smell. Yeah, there's no new GPU smells in here anymore. This is a little bit older. But I'm really excited to make the video and give the kind of close up because there's a lot of intricate details you don't see, and it's. A lot of people keep a lot of this kind of stuff quiet, and they do it for all kinds of different reasons. One, for just the OPSEC side of it, because there is a risk when you have something at a volume are you a target. The second part is some people think, I guess, you're giving away the keys of the kingdom of maybe having competition or people coming in here. I look at it, and I've always looked at it, and anybody that's watched our YouTube channel, I want more people to participate because I like the concepts of being able to exchange with cryptocurrencies. I like where the future of the cryptocurrencies are going, and I think the entrance into it, one way to do it is mining. One way to do it is day trading of it. One day of it is just HODL, and you just get an account and you buy it. But if you have more people that get into it, and then you create those one-to-many connections with all your other folks, your family, your friends, everybody sees you mining, and then people are like, I'm not going to do that, but they may buy the cryptocurrency, right? So you create a grassroots growth in the space because people understand what's going on with it. And the fact that we can even participate in this scale, the fact that we can participate like anybody else is good. And I think more people into it is a great thing. Thanks for that Twitch Prime subscribe, buddy. Oh, look at all the Twitch Prime subscribes. You guys are awesome for hooking us up with that. We're trying to bring you guys good information, and we do appreciate the Twitch Prime subscribes for that. It helps us, get the right equipment to show you guys, how to do this kind of stuff. AC cooling or movement, CFM. It's movement and CFM 100%. Well, 99.9%. 100%. Yeah, I guess
there's
you're not.
No AC.
Yeah, I didn't remember if that was.
The AC is the geographical location.
Yeah, geographical location AC. Thanks for that, Craig. You cash out the payment expenses with exchange to use. Oh, there's different exchanges. I mean, you can use Uphold, you can use Coinbase. What fertilizer do you use on your farm? That's a great question. Power.
Tender loving care.
Tender loving care. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when I'm looking over there, I'm looking at the chat. We got the chat kind of set up here. We kind of set up a makeshift table. There's BBT Wade. He's the one typing on the keyboard to answer all the questions. So. Dude, he inspired me a 29 gig hash, 1600 amp farm in the May of last year. Nice, dude. I hear you, bro. There you go. Yeah, you can see BBT Todd showing. Here, I'll switch over to that so they can see. That's awesome. So then you know some of the scale. So yeah, you guys can see kind of the vent system here. And we got to clean some of it off, so we got to put filters back up on it. But this is the intake side. So that's essentially like a garage door that's been converted into an intake. So yeah, you can switch those around and close the latches and all that kind of stuff too at scale. So yeah, we'll move that back over to live sync. So yeah, we had a little makeshift table here. I've lost faith in Raven. I wouldn't lose faith in Raven. Raven right now is in its bull pool, and it's not on a major exchange. So the big thing I would say about Raven is Raven right now is only on Crypto Bridge, and Raven right now is working on its asset piece. And it's one of those things like if you don't want to mine it and it doesn't make sense to mine it, that's fine. I mean, we're not mining right now, Raven. I'm mining on 2 rigs out of all of it, right? Most of it's on ETC right now, and then we had a couple other that we were trying out too. I don't switch as much on profitability. I switch on more of like what my target of certain currencies are. Some of it's on profitability. That's why some of this stuff will go. You moving that one around?
Yeah.
There you go. It's just more of a pain to. Here, BBT Todd's getting the camera in position, and at the top you have the zoom. So the little, yeah. So you can kind of see that. And I'll let you guys see kind of some scale here. So there's the mobile. You can see the dust. We got to clean off some of that. So we do get a lot of dust there. BBT Todd's kind of taking you guys through. Yeah, if you just let it focus or something, or let it set there, it will autofocus, and then you can zoom in if needed. But a lot of it's USB driven, Simple Mining OS, mostly B250 mining experts on that, and you can see those ones are running right now. Thanks, Derek, for that Twitch Prime subscribe, buddy. You're the man, Todd. There he goes.
As you can see, I got a lot of these turned off. So.
Yeah. Red Ross for that Twitch Prime subscribe. Thank you, sir. Yeah, most of them are turned off. Most of the wattage and the power is done through the 1,000 watt P2s. We got those at scale. And yeah, if you zoom in on the power box. So all those are the separate circuits for the APUs. The way we got that set up. So you can kind of see the breakout boxes there. And you'll see a lot of this in the YouTube video that we make of it, guys, so you guys can kind of see why such few cards per motherboard. Stability, long-term stability. 7 cards is really the sweet spot, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, those are all 240V lines. Everything's 240. Ever dabbled with the server PSUs? Yes, we do have some of those. Not a lot. Mainly just liked the 1,000 watt P2s at the time. Got a pretty decent bulk rate on them. But you can see some of the yeah, 3-phase. Seven for AMD. So yeah, 7 across the board, both AMD and NVIDIA. Yeah, I'll switch this. You can see. There we go. Oh, my bad. Let him get that back on there. Yeah, and then you can close that back on there. Yes, those are all managed PDUs, and you'll see most of them had the network cable plugged into them. And I mean, every once in a while, when we got here, we had 2 PDUs on one side, had popped the circuit. They're running about 27 amp when they're running the hardest on a few of them. I saw a few of them setting at 27 amp.
Yeah, and that's because I just when we did the conversion, when I first started, we were at 240 amps. When we did the 3,000 phase upgrade, it dropped down to 208.
Mostly rich. Yep.
And so I just need to get the electrician back in here to add in more outlets so I can kind of spread it out a little bit.
Yeah. Todd's been 99% of the management of this stuff up here, guys. I mean, I live in Illinois. I mean, we would do a lot of collaborating when we were building the designs for everything, but I mean, Todd, that's his space up here to do this stuff. Explain why 7 is the sweet spot. Just trying 8, trying 6. I mean, just from the stability reason, but I'll let you kind of.
Really, you could do 8 with the motherboard that I did or that I have, except for I figure having one extra riser just sitting on to the side, just as a hot spare, actually helps. It helps a lot because when the risers do go bad, I don't know why, but they do go bad, and it's always just convenient just to pick that card up and move it into another riser that's already just like ready to go. So yes, I could do 8, but I decided to do 7.
Yeah.
And the other reason for doing 7 is if I bump up to 8, then my calculations for my electric all completely change for the rack. So it forces you to add in more power for that rack just to add in that extra card in each one. And that was really the bigger influence on why we did 7 instead of 8.
Yeah, and I mean we're running the 1,000 watt P2s when we ordered those versus having the
1,000.
The 1,000 versus going with the 1,200s, and when most of this farm, the origination of it was really just to go primarily focused ETH at the time, and so then when we started really doing a lot of testing with everybody with dual mining, this gets all thrown off from dual mining because it wasn't really set up to scale at dual mining because of the extra power load would pop all those circuits. So I mean, it wasn't really built to do that heavy dual mine load. But yeah, the Asus 250. A lot of people had problems with the Asus 250 mining boards. They work great with 7. They work great with 7. Now, and the same thing with the ASRock. We had a couple of the ASRocks back there. The ASRock 13 GP ones.
Yeah, I got 13s, and I've got the B250s as well.
Yep. Yeah, and we got the FLIR. We got the temperature gauge too. That's in the back. Yeah, I know. We got one of the. I'll show you guys one of the boards. I think we got some of the Prime Pluses here.
I'm bringing it.
You bringing a Prime Plus?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna bring over one of the Prime Pluses. So I mean, yeah, most of them are all the 1,000 watt P2s. This was a little dusty. But that's where we'll shut all the farm down, and I mean after the live stream we're gonna be, doing some cleaning, making sure everything's kind of dusted off and blown out, and
it does get very dusty in here, by the way. So
yeah, memory. Yeah, so these are all the 3 different boards. Here, I'll switch you over to that one so we can kind of show them.
The Prime 250.
Go over it because you see the other way. There you go. So the Pro Plus Prime 270 there, and then
I know Mike hates this H270.
I hated that thing.
I tell you what, I've 95% of this farm is this H270, and I haven't had any problems. The only problem I have is the stupid battery keeps on running out of juice, and I have to replace those. So that's that motherboard. And then I do have the H110 Pro. Yeah, I haven't messed with this one too much because the 1X risers don't they ground each other out. And then this is the B250.
And when
I just haven't had good luck with this at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
the B250. But yeah, so with especially more than 12 or more than 7. And then you got to buy at scale, bros. Yeah. So that's memory.
This is just memory. There's 25 in each. This is a 50 tray.
Yeah, it's 50 tray of memory.
But
so we still got some expansion still going on here.
Let's see what else do we have. So risers, if you're curious.
Yeah, we're gonna pull over the risers right now that are being used. Like, and they're like, Ram shortage. No wonder who's all got the. Like, why is Ram so damn expensive?
You know what?
And there goes B250.
So there we go. We got there's
Nope. See, but
close to 200 risers.
yeah. So that's about the spare risers.
So.
And I mean, we don't really have And those are the. Let me see one of them. We'll go through on the one from. Well, people asking. I always get bad risers sent to me. Yeah, join the club, bros.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah, so these ones right here are the 006. These are the ones I use mostly down in Illinois too, not just in the farm. Let me bring this closer. This camera's so awesome. There goes the focus. So 006C. These ones, by and large, have been very good, but you still have 3 components, 3 things can happen to them, man. So sometimes it's this guy. You can usually tell if it's this guy if one of the capacitors are popped. But the 1X will go out too, and then
the cables.
The cables. We've had cables that have went out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'm actually investigating and looking for a good PCIe tester to kind of that I can test each one before even putting a video card in, because I can't tell you how much time I've wasted trying to find out which riser's gone bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time. Usually the figure out if we're doing the risers went bad, we just turn around and replace a riser. I'm like, oh, it's fixed, and and then you end up tossing it. But it ends up costing money at scale, and that's where I'm kind of going. And we didn't get in the YouTube video. I'll make sure. What I'm trying to say is, I'll try to be more specific on just like the relative things that can happen, and those are all costs. Like every time we have to toss a riser, there's $3-4 gone, right? So you have the wear and tear. It's kind of like car into maintenance, right? And
I'll tell you the other thing too is if you have that M2 adapter, a lot of times it doesn't. You put it in, but it doesn't seat right. So you just pull it out and put it back in, and then retest your rig again, because there's nothing wrong with the hardware apart from it just didn't seat right the first time.
GPUs, guys, at scale, MA Labs. So it's out of Chicago, MA and then Space Labs, and you can buy them at scale.
They're over the country, so they've got.
Yeah, they're all over. I mean, they got one in San Diego,
San Francisco, down in Texas, I think somewhere, and then New Jersey, and Chicago. So. Yeah,
and I mean. That's where most of this kind of like the Nitro series, twin fan, Sapphire. Thing's not 1 o'clock. I don't know where I got the autofocus set to, but single 6-pin or single 8-pin rather. No IO. Actually, there is an IO right behind this little plate here, but it's just like a diog screen. It doesn't actually post and show video.
The other thing too is it does take that single 8-pin. However, for my 7th card, I just plug the 6-pin into it, and it runs just fine.
Yeah, so 6-pin of the power supply.
Yeah,
and you don't need to use the
full 8.
The full 8, yeah. You can. So on these cards, what he's saying is on the way if you're using a P2 1,000 watt power supply, you'll actually run out of 8 pins, but this card runs fine with 6. So you can plug just the 6-pin in there, and it works perfectly fine. Does not need the 8 to run. So you could actually technically run all 6 pins to those. Cooling. That autocorrect on you? Yeah, MA Labs is a distributor, so it's not a retailer. So I mean, in the graphics world, you have like NVIDIA or AMD. They make the chips. So they make the guy that sits right behind there. So that they make the main chips here, and then they send those chips as chip producers to board makers, which are like Asus, Sapphire, EVGA, whoever, right? And they will make reference boards based on a reference architecture with that chip. And then those producers will sell them to retailers. So you got the production side. It's a 3-tier system. Production side, then you have the wholesalers, and then you have the retailers that sell to consumers, right? So if you want to usually do it at scale, you don't go to like NVIDIA or to Sapphire directly. You go through a distributor. So the distributor will take care of that. And you can get them in different countries. There's different distributors everywhere. Rarely you will be able to get a deal through like Sapphire directly unless they had some kind of like return from a distributor and they're just trying to move stock, right? Then you can find sometimes that kind of thing. So most of the stuff you're going to have to go through distributor at scale. And then obviously if you're just, doing one rig at a time, I mean, there's different ways to do that through like the retail channel side. Price wise though, and because I know a lot of that is about the same as retail. Like there's not really any benefit at all to buy things direct from a wholesaler, like at all. Like the only thing I would see the price difference on is usually risers, because risers at scale you can buy for $2 to $3 a riser and not $6 a riser. You can save almost half off on a riser if you go at scale with them. You buy them from a vendor through China, through one of the suppliers, you can buy a riser from $2.50 to $3.50 depending what kind of riser you're getting.
Right. MA Labs, really what it does, it gives you just the ability to get the volume.
Yeah, they allow you to get the volume.
The price, maybe $5 on the video card, maybe if you're, but generally speaking, you're probably paying $5 more, but you're able to get the, 1,000 cards or, the volume that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and they'll supply different things. It's not just mining cards. They'll supply, the power supplies. And most of the motherboards I think came from MA Labs. I mean, so power processors, memory bulk, that kind of stuff.
All that stuff was from the only thing that didn't come from MA Labs was the flash drives. I don't use any SSDs. I use nothing but flash drives. It makes it easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the risers.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. I think our food's finally here, bros. You show us where the motherboard is allocated. I know what they mean. We thought about leasing cards. No, I'd buy cards. I don't know of anybody that'd lease you to them because they kind of wear out like a piece of hardware that'll wear out. Like all the fans that we're gonna have to replace on some of these cards. Like, how hard is it to turn on the full farm? Not that hard. So almost everything is, all the motherboards, you preset the motherboards that if they receive power, they kick on, right? So you set the wake on state on power on. So all the motherboards all have set up to turn wake on state to power on. And then they'll fire up. And then since they're all running, most of all of them are running Simple Mining OS, Simple Mining kicks on and boots up, right? So they automatically come on to the on state. So we can quickly flip the entire farm on in a few minutes. And everything's all automated from there. You ever buy secondhand cards? Sometimes. I mean, it just depends. I mean, most of the stuff I like having pretty new at this scale. But, when I'm doing like the smaller rigs back in Illinois and we're putting, and we have some of those rigs off to the side, right? A lot of the gray matter stuff you saw earlier in the year is up here. A lot of the earlier rigs are up here. But the most of the stuff at scale is done brand new from here.
Yeah,
would you have your farm on Windows or would you save more?
Everything's on Linux.
Everything's on Linux. No, at scale, Windows is not operable. So you don't want Windows at scale.
So with that said, the Linux, I'm using the Simple Mining as well. I've dabbled in writing my own, but it's by using the Simple Mining, I could actually mod all of these cards in about 2 hours. I've written scripts that Simple Mining's already put the added flash onto the OS, so I can mod this whole thing in 2 hours.
Yeah,
which is pretty darn
it's
quick.
all automated. So the way Todd set this up is with that script file that he wrote, we can push new BIOSes to all those cards. What he's saying is essentially we can take a copy of the current BIOS and drop a new BIOS, all automated through across the whole farm. And between each rig of just doing the verification and kicking it versus pushing it all to them all in real time, you kind of just go right down them, but it goes so fast it's about 2 hours for the entire farm.
I'm a risky person. I mod them while it's mining.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
He when he told me he built that script the way it was, and he was like, "Well, let's try to see what happens if we try to mod them when they're mining." He will mod the card when it's mining, which is just crazy talking to me.
Right.
But actually, it's in an off store.
It's in memory.
It's in memory, and then when you bounce the rig, it'll pick up the new settings.
Yep.
So, yeah, Crypto World News is seeing it. What's up, Crypto World News? How's it going? Now you can flash your cards while you go Lambo shopping. Yeah. Yeah. For the folks just joining, you guys can see kind of the mobile scale of it right now. Yeah. 4 cents off peak, 6 cents off peak, and then I know some of the greetings from Germany. Hey, we got some Germans here.
It's
what is it now?
7.5 cents off, or off peak. 9
cents. Moved up.
On peak. It moved up.
Yeah, it moved up. It moved up. That's the latest. Todd has the latest numbers. BBT record, 150 people on Twitch. Yes, I mean my record on when I did the Titan V was we had 1,000 people on YouTube on real time with Titan V.
To give you an example, last month's electric bill was just over $17,000 for 50 gig of hash.
Yeah, 50 gig of hash, $17,000. Clean up on aisle 7. That's like MacGyver filling the baking fluid. You see, that's a good one, yeah. Including tax. Well, I mean, you got to pay tax. But there's a standard internet connection here. I mean, we're not. This isn't like fiber or any kind of
not fiber.
Crazy.
It's just standard internet. 100 meg down and 10 meg up.
Yeah. So. Yeah. There's only 21. You farming more on the top of that? No, slightly. There's a ton of videos that explain that, but like I could go into a dissertation on explaining that. But bottom line, this isn't BTC that's being mined. It's Ethereum and other cryptocurrency. I'm your hero. Thanks, bro.
Mining pools, I've done. Really, ETH pool is the one that I like the most,
yep.
just because of how large I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried Dwarf pool as well. But ETH pool is the one that I stick to. But if you're, a lot smaller, I would really suggest the Ether mine.
Yeah, Ether mine. Yeah, so ETH pool is where you're mining shares to earn the next block that's mined by the pool. So if the pool wins a block and you're next in line, you get that block, and no matter what it is, even if it has a uncle, a thick farm. It grows hard to be like that.
There's only one ASIC in this farm that isn't up and running yet because I just got the E3 miner.
Got the E3 miner here. Yeah, we can open that here soon too, if we want. We'll have a different video on that though, like with the setup and all that. Like I'm not gonna try to set that up on this live stream. Of course, it's insured.
Yes, it's insured. I've been fortunate. I have another business venture as well, so I'm able to insure it under that one, and
it's just added assets.
It's just added assets. So for me, it didn't cost me much more than what I'm already paying. So
yep. Yeah, and it's my ETZC. No, not with this farm. This is an AMD farm. You try not to mine Zcash with AMD cards. And it's almost all ASIC now anyway, so.
I did mine Monero just because I was trying to control my heat at the beginning before I had the exhaust fans in.
Yep.
And that was it wasn't as much as ETH, but it was at least I could keep it running as long as possible without having to start shutting things down.
How do you keep track of all of it? Well, when you bought your card. And those invoices on all of it, and all of them have serial numbers. And when you get things at scale like this, you keep all your receipts, obviously, and you understand what cards were purchased when, and then you essentially put them all into a spreadsheet.
I'll tell you. So the warranty stuff, these cards are only the mining cards are only good for 30 days.
Yep. So that too. I'm
beyond the 30 days, so basically I'm going to run it until it's garbage, and then I got a dumpster waiting for it.
Yep. Or we'll put them all in a box and maybe dead cards buy. Have fun. Try to fix them. Maybe that might be a thing. Maybe we'll keep some of the dead ones and maybe just like give them away to people. Like if we're gonna dumpster them.
Yeah. I do pull the fans off the dead ones.
Yeah. You try to grab what you can off of it.
Yeah.
I've seen them for $239 each now. Yep. 7 months. Ish.
Yeah.
8 months.
October.
Yeah.
So
October.
October.
I mean, it was pretty much a no-brainer at the time to scale when everything was on fire.
Free heat.
Looks warm. Take a water break.
Am I sweating?
We do. We do have. Yeah, it is a little warm. We got some of the rigs on, so it is getting a little warmer in here. Cool to have a dead card signed at the GP. A dead card signed by you guys. Hey, it might be a thing.
We could do that.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do one. I don't have any of the tools to give things away today on this stream, but if you guys like, subscribe, and follow, we will have some more streams, and I'll maybe do a giveaway or something.
We'll sign a dead card, and then when Mike gets back home and has the tools to do it, we can
ship it out. So we'll do that. We'll you guys will get a farm card, and we'll all sign it, and we'll give it away. What was your first mining rig ever? My first mining rig ever was a 2-card 5970 AMD rig, and I tried to get a 9700 Pro back in the day, trying to mine Bitcoin, and back in late 2010, the beginning of 2011, when the GPU mining first really kind of get into it, it was prior to that it was CPUs on Bitcoin. So I'm old school. I think your first one was the R9 390s. Yeah. So we built your first ones
in a closet.
So I think my first one was actually back in 2003 when
Crypto World News. Thanks for that tier 1 subscribe, buddy.
Bitcoin came on board. I was just mining with my little school laptop.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you could with BTC.
With BTCs, yep. Sorry, Mineral. Yeah. All the rigs are on 220.
Upgrading to 3,000 amp service was a feat.
Yeah.
To give you guys an idea of what a project that is. I started the actual paperwork with my power company right before Thanksgiving, and I did not have that service on until I want to say it was the first week of April. So it was like a 3 to almost 4 month process just to get 3,000 amp service installed.
Yep. Oh, I didn't even notice we were dropping about 50% frames there for a little bit. Let's jump it off. Hey, is the stream kind of jumping on you guys, or is it okay? We're at about 50% drop frames this whole stream. I mean, you can see the bandwidth here.
Yeah.
So it goes up to 6,000, and then 4,000 tries to catch it. So 2,000. Most of the farm's down right now, so.
Yeah. It's just
some jump. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, so part of it we turned off because we didn't want to have so many calls out to the internet because it's paused like 4 times for you now. Okay. Not often, but a little. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, so I mean, the rest of today for us to give you guys an idea is I'm going to go through and make sure I capture a lot of good stuff for you guys. I have pretty much a punch list that I'm going to go through on a produced YouTube video where I'm going to voice over it with a lot of the shots, and we're going to go through everything with it. We'll show you guys more of the detail on the power, the distribution system that's set up, the PDU structure, and just kind of the scale of it, like what it takes to scale, and some of the lessons learned from that, I think, in a condensed YouTube video. And then I'll take this unedited. If you guys want, we'll take this whole video unedited and put it on YouTube for you guys too.
We got some shout-outs from Israel and Germany.
Israel and Germany, running smooth.
Nice.
Hello from
over the pond.
From over the pond, exactly.
Very cool.
Your lips match the speech. That's good.
And the other thing is reach out to Mike.
Your rigs offline are using $1.20 every minute. We were doing the math earlier. I think it was about $70-80 an hour or something we're losing right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we like your guys' subscribes. Thank you. It's so if you have not, shameless plug for a Twitch Prime subscribe. You hit that little heart up at the top. After you restart the rigs. I mean, not often. Then they'll restart themselves if they need it, and then we have to gun through. I mean, Todd's over here. I don't know how many times a week you think?
Oh, I would say once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks, yeah.
It's
Thanks for that subscribe, Joe.
It's more once every 2 weeks. Sometimes I get I've gotten as long as 6 weeks out of a rig. I get a lot of we get some weather through here, and it usually gives me enough internet outage, which forces me to restart the rig. So, but yeah, it's not too often, to be honest.
Yeah, and again, it was just internet outage. I mean, from a power standpoint, with the power that's there, I mean, it's not.
I've had one power outage this entire year.
Yeah.
So, and that's been great. So, and the rigs come up automatically when the power goes down. So.
You use some of mine as control boards? No. None of the control boards.
No, none of that. Believe it or not, so those APC, what is it, the 7941? It's all Simple Mining OS. Yep. Power things, yep. They're all Ethernet enabled, yep. And I can turn on and off the power on each socket that's on that power bar. So I use that.
Yeah. So you can control on the PDUs that are over there. You can control the power at each socket. So you can cycle them in that way. So if you find a rig, and all the rigs are tagged in Simple Mining OS, and when I do the YouTube video, I'll kind of show just a excerpt of the scale of it in working. 330 rigs is you have to scroll down Simple Mining OS forever to see which rigs are down, and you can manage it that way. You can do it from your phone, so it's pretty nice. Yeah, and we got auto set for the router. Yeah, here's the PDU. Here, I'll switch it over to that video.
By the way, hi Croatia.
Oh, hi Croatia. To Valuar.
So here's one of the PDUs. It's got a Ethernet connection right here, and you can basically log into the PDU on an IP address, and you can turn off any one of these outlets that you want to. I don't actually use this one. This one was a mistake order, but I figured I was going to keep it around and put it in a lab somewhere because it would be useful. So,
before they ask, what was the mistake order for it?
So this one was which model was this one? This is a 20 amp and not a 30 amp. And then secondly,
I would say that looked like 110 plugs.
Yeah, these are 110 plugs, and it doesn't have the pigtail that actually the other server room style one. So, but mainly it's a 20 amp versus a 30 amp.
Yeah, but yeah, the 30 amps work the same way in that kind of capacity to where you can control them in that fashion. So,
and I highly suggest. Never buy them brand new. They're like $1,200 brand new.
Yeah. Buy used ones, bros. Don't
buy
do it smart.
Ones.
And we'll put some of that in there. I mean, I'll buying tips. And then when I get into the cooling and how to move the air stuff, we'll make sure that we have some model numbers and stuff for you guys to understand. Now I get the CFM that we're pulling in and pushing out there. That whole setup was about $25,000. So that's and you can spend it any way. You can buy air conditioning and try to get a full chiller or something like that, and you'll end up doing it at pretty high scale, or you can do it through high CFM and you're in a cooler area. But it's pretty expensive at scale. Here, I'm gonna switch you back. So it's on a mission here.
Hold on.
He's still looking.
Do I actually have? I got one laying around.
That's for a reboot. Like if you want to shut down a reboot. I mean, you can remote bounce the rigs, but if you're having an issue, like if we have a dead rig that's down, the part of the advantage of the PDU. So if you have a rig that's down, you know where it's at, you know what socket it's in, and the rig is, let's say, it's red on Simple Mining OS. You could go to your PDU controller and you can power that off, which is like pulling the cord, right? And if the BIOS on the board is set for power state to automatically kick on, when you've pulled the power and you've reset it, you are effectively restarting the rig because it kills the power to the board and then kicks back on. It's a kind of a trick to bounce something. If you have a red rig down in the thing, I switched you back over.
Okay.
you're getting it set up over there.
Yeah. So here, the PDU that's on that rack right there. On the very top of it is these circuit breakers. And what happens with the circuit breakers is when they ship, the UPS driver or FedEx or whoever, they don't really care what's in that box. And what I found is a lot of the used ones that I get, those circuit breakers break. And I actually found a company, and what I mean that by them breaking, they this is the circuit breaker, this is the front of it, and the plastic tabs actually break off of this, and then all of a sudden you can't like reset the circuit breaker. So I found a company where I can buy, this is a new one here, that basically it's a replacement breaker. There's nothing wrong with this breaker itself except for because of the plate being broken, I can't, once it pops, I can't like reset it. So and it's just 2 screws that the wires connect to, and they're really simple to fix.
Yeah, and that's some of that maintenance stuff that you gotta.
Yeah, and the best way to do if you want to find a company is just take the part number that's on the side, Google it, and you'll find a company that will sell it.
Yeah, there's always
Hey,
Google's your
Ken,
friend.
do you have issues with bugs? Is that a question I've seen?
With like
Spiders,
insects?
Yeah.
I mean, they're around. I do see some bugs on the floor. I don't see anything ever flying around here.
The CFM's so high. I mean,
yeah,
like
it's pretty warm.
If we have everything turned on, and maybe that's, I'm gonna write that down with the full scale up, full scale show of CFM paper. And what I mean by that is, I'm gonna do is where we're setting right now. We're on the intake side, and all the air kind of comes this way and blows through the rigs and gets sucked out the back. What we'll do is I'll have like a paper, and you can see how much, because I don't have any kind of reader that'll read CFM, and we'll show you kind of like how much volume is. So, and it creates kind of a nice wind essentially. I mean, it's got to be at least 10 mile an hour.
There's a lot of wind.
Sustained.
I'm basically replacing the air in this room every minute. So every single minute the air is being fully recycled. So that's one problem for bugs. The other problem with the bugs is it's just too dry in here.
Yeah. Well, you don't have a humidity thing in there. Was that
I don't. That's just garbage one. But the humidity's not. It's super dry in here.
Yeah.
It's not dry to the point where I'm worried about static electricity with all the machines.
Yeah.
But it's definitely dry in here to the point where it deters the bugs from wanting to be in here.
Yeah, I measured the temp on the exhaust side with the meter earlier when we were standing on the outside, and the farthest ventilation output was pumping out 97-degree heat. So I mean, it was pushing like a lot of. It was close to 97 from a temp standpoint. So yeah, there's a lot of good heat coming out of that. I mean, this place, if you lose your fans, it'll shoot straight up to like 120 north. 140.
Easily.
Yeah. So Todd did have a recent issue with that where it was the fans that went down.
The exhaust fans went down, and the temperature went up to, well, I say 140. I really don't know. So on the temperature here, it was like the needle was vertical straight up and down. So I imagine it's at least 140, if not hotter.
And the I guess what really kind of gave us the indicator for that was the
GPU's all throttled down.
Yeah,
so
they all stepped down naturally, but all the USB, a handful of USB drives got nuked.
Melted.
They literally melted.
Yep.
Like they're
Melted to solder.
Yeah, it reached a point that they just couldn't handle it anymore, and I mean, you got a box of dead OSs, and we could tell from the Simple Mining OS, almost everything was red, like showing it down.
All
and
the temperatures were at 90. All of them were in the 90s. None of them were exceeding 94 Celsius. So the GPUs really did a good job in making sure that it didn't go any further. You know, I checked the mining pool first, and then noticed I was at 13 gigahash instead of my standard 50. And then I logged into Simple Mining and saw the red temperatures. So obviously I ran down here as quickly as possible and got the fan turned back on. Got the fan turned on, everything came, you know, returned back to normal. Some of the, you know, the handful of rigs, it was close to about 30 rigs that actually didn't come back up due to the USB drive itself.
Yeah, and so that's part of the reason we're out here, to help get that back up and running. You know, and just find a few of the cards, and plus having everything shut down right now, you can do some maintenance stuff on the farm itself. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that happens. And like if you're doing your measurements and calculations of like what your ROI and all that kind of stuff is, you don't usually plan, like you should plan for, what do you think, about 20%, up to 20% downtime throughout the whole year, maybe less. I mean, you shoot for less than 10, but the realities are is if you're down, like that happens, and it's a Friday afternoon and you checked it, and you, even if you get notified,
I would even say, conservatively speaking, I mean, you want to target like 15%.
15%,
10
yeah.
to 15, but if you're doing calculations on ROI and that kind of stuff, just calculate 20 to 25 even, because you'll never be disappointed if you exceed your estimates.
Yeah,
right?
Under promise, over deliver, boys. Always remember that. Like, under promise, you know, like, you know, if I'm up 75% of the time for the whole farm, and mind you, not everything goes down, right? I mean, a handful of the rigs go down. And so you got to look at your peak operating and what you're operating at.
And if you try to set this up at a 90% uptime, or even at like a 95% uptime, you can do it. I could definitely do it, but you know, you're going to pay for that. That comes at a cost. And
correct.
You know, I'm okay not paying for it and living with the downtime, to be honest.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's right. Crypto News, raiding with the party of 61. Thank you guys. Thanks. Welcome new folks over here. We don't usually get rated over here on our channel. We usually raid other folks, but yeah, I do appreciate that. Welcome, guys. We're very bullish on the space right now, as you can see. You know, you don't get to this level of scale if you're not bullish on it. Respect to you guys for watching us. And what's up, corn fed?
I like to say grass fed up here.
Yeah, grass fed, exactly. We'll get some of the grass-fed bros out here too now. They're going to be thinking of the grass. Are you guys power lifters? No, I've always been, I had that size. Got to get swole down in Illinois, bros.
Yeah. Next step is to get power or solar power panels on the roof.
You guys definitely eat more than just corn. That's fair, bro. That's fair. ETH, ETC. I'm very bullish in ETC right now. When ETC gets on Coinbase, I think it's going to be a bold move for them. And plus, ETC's had it has a very good following and a good roadmap. And ETC mainly, XRM or Monero, XMR. Tesla Powerwalls. I think it would drain a Tesla Powerwall very quickly. Very quickly. Yeah. You would need probably, we'd have to do the calculations on it, but whatever 2,000 amps
Wasn't
is.
it 2 rigs that guy ran off of his
his Tesla? Yeah, somebody was running he had converted an output from his Tesla to where he could run his mining rigs off of his Tesla, and he was recharging his Tesla at the power, at the supercharger, and coming back and running his rigs off the Tesla. These GPUs aren't running, no noise. Yeah, so right now we powered about, if we had everything on, it'd be, you'd hear like it was in a wind tunnel.
Honestly, we should just give them a little bit of an experience.
If we can kick on the external fans and they can hear it.
All right, external it is.
Yeah, we'll fire up some of it, guys. OBT, we're from Hive LS Group of Brazil. We're all connected watching you. Hey, what's up, guys? Love your videos. We need to do a Hive OS. I mean, people have been asking me about Hive OS. I have actually it downloaded. I have it on one of the rigs, and we're going to give you guys a good video. Sorry, noise in a second. Yeah, so we're spinning up the 3-phase large fans right now. can see, I don't know if you can see Pring back there in the back, getting them all ready to fire up. Again, this is about 2,500 GPUs. Oh, I can feel the air. You feel it?
Oh, yeah. Here it comes.
They're spinning up, boys.
Here comes the jet engine.
Here comes the jet engines. Thanks for that follow, buddy. They're kicking on. They're still coming on. They're not even close to all of it. Your beard is moving. Oh, that wind.
Yeah. I can't even hear you.
Huh? Oh, you can't hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, it's probably pretty loud. And now you can tell why we kind of turned off.
All right, I'll set it off.
Yeah. We got one of the big doors open
On
too.
your chairs.
Yeah. Sounds fine. Well, the condenser mic's probably cutting it on. You should put some pilot goggles on. Yeah, Todd's bringing them down. They still take a little bit to get all the way down, too.
What?
That microphone's actually doing a really good job. Yeah, we're rocking the, so we got the Rode, mic here. Kind of set up over here.
Big shout out to the boys in Brazil.
Yeah, I gave him a shout out. The Hybo S group is on right now.
Yeah.
So we gave him a... Sounds like you're printing money. You hear that fan on? It's rolling, bros. Your food is actually getting cold. That's probably a true statement, bros.
It is.
It is a true statement. Got 212 people on. So yeah, so I mean we're gonna go through. Part of this stream today was just to kind of give you guys a shot of it. We're gonna go do some good camera work, grab some stuff from you guys today. We're gonna be wrapping up here in a bit, and possibly go back live when we're back at the house, and we can talk through some other stuff, and show you guys maybe some other stuff. If you guys would like that, maybe we can go live later on this afternoon, and show you guys some of the videos that are not all the way fully produced yet, but give you guys some insights on specific stuff. Todd, you know you have the dream job right now, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Living the dream, bros.
Living the dream. I haven't done my normal job for about 6 months now.
Yeah.
So
it's all
I'm definitely living.
Yeah,
the dream.
Todd's full-time crypto.
I left January 5th when I left my
Yeah. Yeah, micro heat them up on the mic. Yeah, we could heat up the food on the rigs. I don't know how that'll do with grease.
Bacon and eggs every morning.
Bacon and eggs. There you go.
BLTs in the afternoon.
So yeah, we'll do some recording today, and then we'll fire up the stream from the house tonight, because I'm going to be doing some post processing and editing of this video, because I want to make sure this video is up. We're going to take this stream today and we're going to upload it straight to YouTube. I'm just going to grab it off the Twitcher and send it up. But hopefully you guys got to see and we answered some of the questions. Again, I think it'll be the YouTube video will be organized to where it explains it straight to the point on most of the stuff, guys. But you guys got to see the BBT Farm. Most of all of it right now, just in the YouTube the live stream here. And we'll be sending you guys over. I don't even know who's on right now, and I do think, several of you guys gave us follows. I'm gonna give you guys a shout out. Hyper Gamers YouTube, Noah NOHOPEU, follow Zork, Crypto World News rated.
We also got to sign that card too.
Yeah, we're gonna sign it. We're gonna sign a card. We'll find one of the GPUs. We'll sign, and we'll be giving that away when we get back. Question for Todd. Shoot for the question for Todd. Yeah, we'll do let's do 4 minutes of questions. So start rolling the questions in. We'll go 4 minutes of questions. We'll wrap this up right at an hour and a half. OpSense is the way to go.
I got a Juniper router running here, but I'd be always open to trying different things.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the raid from Crypto World News. Thanks for that. Might send them action back your guys' way. Greg Ross with the 300 biddies coming in like a boss. Challenging that number one spot. My tint. How often motors fell? Not often.
Yeah, Sean, that was the question earlier this week that I had for you. Is looking for basically the 30 amp connection so I can measure the entire power meter with like 4 rigs running on it.
ETC, right? Yep. Yeah, giveaway. Oh, what happened? We lost this camera. This camera might have actually died.
What was the question?
Hold on, I think I lost a battery here, boys. I had my main camera running on a battery. Let me swap that out while you're answering.
How loud is it outside? It's pretty loud outside. I've gotten a few neighbors coming over asking me what I do over here, and I try to not answer them too much, but no, I tell them what I do. They're pretty cool neighbors, actually. In fact, the one neighbor, we're talking about putting a sock between our two buildings, and basically having our crypto farm heat his building next door. Questions? Am I hiring?
Maybe, boys. We may take this to another notch and start building more of these farms out.
Yeah.
Once everything starts to kind of get rescaled here, I'm just going to point that this way.
I would say, if you're interested in setting up or having me set up a farm for you like this, get in touch with Mike and he will get you in touch with me.
Yep. Yeah. So that's part of it, guys. Is some of this is we've had a lot of interest. I mean, obviously, I try to bring everything to you guys as transparent and as open as possible to let you guys get that edge if you're trying to get into the space. But if you're wanting to have it managed and built and all that kind of stuff at scale, having that opportunity, we're going to put that information out on bitsbetrippin.io and then hook you up with Todd, since Todd's doing it mainly full time. I'm down in Illinois. But having, maybe scale it up and working or helping in assistance of lessons learned from this farm that we have here into other people's farms, offering some assistance there. Because there's been a lot of things that were lessons learned from this kind of space here. Yeah. Somebody goes, where's the
fire suppression, buddies? Right here.
There you go.
Other than that, it's insurance.
Yeah. BBT Global. But we do a lot of the benchmarking and testing and stuff down at the farm, back down in Illinois. We test a lot of the configurations, the rigs and stuff, and I do the stuff with the YouTube channel for that, guys. Yeah, my main camera, So here's the other setup here. I had that sitting on a battery, so I don't know where. Oh, you had it in your bag. All my other batteries.
Oh. I have automatic gun turrets.
Automatic. Yeah, and of course the Tesla tower that's on top that zaps anybody that gets close.
Flamethrower.
My power rate is 4 cents kilowatt and 8 cents peak.
So security system, I got an ADT security system, and that way it's connected to the police department as well.
Correct. And then you obviously got the camera set up. inside, outside. You got to make sure that you have some kind of visualization and recording of that, and then off-site cloud storage on the recording.
And then you also know, like, the police know to keep monitoring the building.
Yeah.
Sean's on the meter.
Yep. Saw that. Great, Sean. Thanks.
Yeah, Sean, we got a big care pack coming for you for that other meter, buddy. We got you a lot of different BBT stuff. I have smoke alarms just for all my exhaust fans. That's one way to do it. How do you keep the temperature so low? Yeah, so that's going to be in the YouTube stream. Todd had it on his phone. We was showing it earlier. I mean, we got 186 people in here. I don't know if you have it on your phone still, the exhaust system. They want to show, and then that way these people, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yep.
Do you guys ever fap in the warehouse? When nobody else is around? That's a good question, Todd.
You think I'd be a lot thinner?
Yeah. Yeah, you see that. Yeah, there you go. So that's the output. That's the exhaust output of the twin. And there's the inbound on the 3,000 amps on the side of the building. You can see the pipes coming up from the bottom there that are in the crown that come up into the. And then there's the external transformer that was required for the 3,000 amps come in. And then there's the 8-foot large 200 amp per breaker box there. All those little switches you see there are full 200 amps coming off of those.
Each one of those
that
switches.
feed separate power boxes that are at scale. And if you look at the top of that picture, I don't know if the top of that picture showed it. Yeah, there it is. You can see all of the 200 amp runs that were required to come out of that. And again, that box is 8 foot tall, or about 7.5.
7.5.
7.5, yeah. And then there's the internal parts of one of the 3-phase large CFM fans that we got there.
This is the controller for the fan.
Nice. Coached.
Hey, if Mike decides to let it rip, we'll have that out of here in a minute.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's the 2 fans.
And there's the 2 fans from the inside tunneling some of the air. And then you see kind of a board that holds there.
That's my dream. That's my dream camping. Mission.
Yeah, and then that there's part of the dream, bros. No Lambos here. This is the Midwest. You get RVs. You get RVs, bros. You don't get Lambos. You have a transformer at the farm. Yeah. So hopefully that gave you guys kind of some scope of what we're looking at here, and give me those digits.
3-phase 208 volts for the
208. 3-phase 208.
Yeah.
I work at a power plant, and this stuff looks like it should belong there. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, let me tell you, when the power company came out here with the build and saw the size of the building and saw the size of service that they're putting in here, they were like, "What
is going on here, bros?"
Yeah. Not the
huge grow house of cryptocurrency.
The building is I think it's about 5,000 or 6,000 square feet total, and 3,000 amp service. I mean, you're really starting to talk like, I don't want to say skyscrapers, but definitely.
It's quite a bit.
Quite a bit bigger building. Probably a 40,000 square foot building is a 3,000 service. So.
You do not dust filter. Yeah, we shut the farm down. We dust filter. We are talking about getting some different filters for the intake side. It's just another expense thing that you have to expense. And do you shut the farm down and just clean them, or do you pre-filter and then wash? That kind of thing's kind of getting through right now.
Yeah.
You upconvert from 208 to 220. That's on the distribution box.
No, I don't upconvert to 220. It's just 208.
208, yeah. Extra buy a chair. Feel bad. Yeah, so it would be funny if they actually do put the sock on and start heating their building with all that stuff.
Yeah, that would be fun. I think they'll do it though.
Yeah. Wisconsin, bro.
When we call it quits, do we want to turn the fans on one last time for everybody?
Yeah, we can kick them on any time, and we'll wrap it up. I'm gonna look and see who we're gonna send these guys over to. Again, thanks for that chair, Rick Ross.
The last month's power bill was $17,000. 400, something like that.
Yeah, let's do. Let's see who's on right now. We're gonna raid somebody with 200 people. I do thank you guys for showing up and seeing, and hopefully some of you guys are followed. If you guys hit that follow, you'll see more of videos from us on this, and in the space. So Crypto World News is not on, so I might send them over to Crypto Traders or somebody else over here. But let's take, if World News is going back online, I'll send them back over to you guys for raiding us. I'll let you guys get situated if you want to pick it up.
Best way to reach us, Mike.
The best way to reach us, bitsbetrippin.io. You'll see some information on how to reach out to myself. You can also email bitsbetrippin@gmail.com if you got questions, and we'll try to get some answers.
Right.
Charging for the heat to offset some of the cost. Yeah, there you go. Like, what's your heating bill, bro? We'll more than take care of you. You can also reach me on Discord. Just do an at me at bitsbetrippin, bitsbetrippin.io. You can click on Discord to reach us. And we'll get you guys situated here. Again, thanks for all those follows. And Crypto World News, if you go online, I will raid you guys. If you guys plan to go back online. If you don't plan to go back online, I'll send them somewhere else.
They're back on.
They're back on? Awesome. So I'm going to send them over to you guys.
You can reach Todd at BBT_Todd at bitsbetrippin.com as well.
Yep, there you go. Hopefully we answer some of the questions for you guys. We're going to raid. You guys can hang out for a raid. Give Crypto World News a follow. And then we'll stay tuned. Look at Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I don't know what you're doing. You should be following me on Twitter. I post a lot of pictures and a lot of details and stuff. And then I'll let you guys know when we're going to go live tonight, and we'll have some other videos and some other discussions around the space. And we'll do a further Ask Me Anything on that, and then we'll have some other content related. And we'll be doing the Antminer E3 setup. We'll probably do some setup and configuration here, but we'll let you guys take a look at that. If you guys are interested in that, you might want to follow tonight. So hang out.
It's killing me because it's not open yet.
Yeah, it's killing Todd. We need to open it and get it up and running. But we're going to get some food, and obviously it looks like we need food. Like, it takes a little bit to feed these guys, right? So we're melting away. So send them over to Crypto World News. You guys hang out. Thanks for subscribing, liking, sharing, and we'll catch you guys in a bit.